sports. It's in the game. We need more, tell them we need more. Putting numbers on the board like them keep a score. Ay, 16 cars in my front yard. 30 on my wrist, bullet points of God.
Big numbers, 100 in the bag, that's a big number. Big numbers, whole team counted, that's a big number. Big numbers, 100 million bag, that's a big number. Big numbers, blue hunts, whole team counting, that's a big number. Big numbers, whole team counted, that's a big number.
Yeah, wrist man, check the wrist man, got him hot. Ay, man can't ball like this, man. Lord, pass the big scam when he stretch a disc. I'm talking a few $100,000 charge, you just on your 5th grand. Run it up, 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 count it up. Hey, 100s and 50s and 20s, no 5s and no singles, don't count on them. Hey, she wanna like me cause I know she can count it out. She try to be nosy and hit her lag, she like, girl, you can count.
We need more, tell them we need more. Putting numbers on the board like them keep a score. Ay, 16 cars in my front yard. 30 on my wrist, bullet points of God.
Big numbers, 100 in the bag, that's a big number. Big numbers, whole team counted, that's a big number. Big numbers, 100 million bag, that's a big number. Big numbers, blue hunts, whole team counting, that's a big number. Big numbers, whole team counted, that's a big number.
Yeah, wrist man, check the wrist man, got him hot. Ay, man can't ball like this, man. Lord, pass the big scam when he stretch a disc. I'm talking a few $100,000 charge, you just on your 5th grand. Run it up, 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 count it up. Hey, 100s and 50s and 20s, no 5s and no singles, don't count on them. Hey, she wanna like me cause I know she can count it out. She try to be nosy and hit her lag, she like, girl, you can count.
We need more, tell them we need more. Putting numbers on the board like them keep a score. Ay, 16 cars in my front yard. 30 on my wrist, bullet points of God.
Big numbers, 100 in the bag, that's a big number. Big numbers, whole team counted, that's a big number. Big numbers, 100 million bag, that's
We ain't gon' run, no we don't hide. I could never switch, not a day in my life. Long as my dogs stay by my side. Yeah, we gon' ride till we die. We ain't gon' run, no we don't hide. I could never switch, not a day in my life. Long as my dogs stay by my side. Yeah, we gon' ride till we die. This ain't nothing for the pack. Got 16 sitting in the lag. Whole squad all dressing all black. Every single last one of them got my back. Ay, 20 of us, that's 20 goons. And ice cream whip, triple scoop. I got 3 strikes, ain't got to lose. When it's all on the line with
Hey everybody, it's the coach. You're tuned in to Sunday Night Football on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll see Carson Wentz and the Philadelphia Eagles as they match up with a former league MVP, Matt Ryan, and the Atlanta Falcons. With that, we're off to Atlanta for their home opener. Standing by at Mercedes-Benz Stadium are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. It's the National Football League presented by EA Sports. A moment ago, here was the scene. The Falcons coming out from their tunnel to the roar of all the folks here in Atlanta. We're ready for football as these Falcons get set to match up with Carson Wentz and the Philadelphia Eagles. Hello again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin along with Charles Davis. And, Charles, we take a look at this Falcons team as they interplay. They come in off a loss in the opener last week. That one was on the road. Now they get their first taste here of home cooking.
And what they're hoping to do is feed off the energy of the home crowd. Great tailgate, great fan support. Let's see if they can put it to good use.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Eagles, they were winners last time out, so they'll be looking, Charles, to make it 2 in a row.
And what I enjoyed when I watched their game tape and their victory last week is they put it together in every phase. Good offense, good defense, and some key plays on special teams. Let's see if they can get that second win in a row.
The children will groan. It's the final weekend of summer, but we've got the NFL, and we're underway on EA Sports. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. The veteran Matt Ryan, now 34 years of age, bringing out this Falcons offense. And in Week 1 against Minnesota, he did have a 300-yard game, but really the offense and the defense, for that matter, struggled a little bit for Atlanta.
In a big way, because Minnesota's defense was so tough throughout. And Julio Jones got his new contract. They got that settled. Had a 2-yard touchdown catch in the fourth quarter. His first touchdown catch in 5 career games against the Vikings. Hard to get it done against the coverage of Xavier Rhodes.
Watch the screen, watch the screen, watch the screen.
A carry for Devontae Freeman, who missed most of last season. And not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24.
Let's go.
And here's the offense now. Charles, who's the guy you chose to highlight?
The tone setter, the guy in the middle, Alex Mack. His return, never good for the opposition.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. From the shotgun, Ryan. And finding the tight end, Hooper. And he'll get this up past the 25 before he's out of bounds. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. For the Eagles, a look now at the starters on the defensive side of the ball. And this unit, very tough to throw against. Currently 2nd best in the NFL.
What they lack in pass defense, they do make up for in run defense. They're a top 10 unit against some people trying to move the ball on the ground. But this is a passing league. So there's a conundrum for them. How do they get better defending the pass?
On 3rd down, Ryan. Ryan hit, and he lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And this offense takes over in great shape right at the 50, 1st and 10. Carson Wentz and this Philadelphia Eagles offense, we'll get a look at them in just a second. Speaking of Wentz, Week 1 against Washington, 313 yards, threw for 3 scores, but you called that game. You were telling me early on there were some frustrated Eagles fans.
It started about the 3rd drive for Philadelphia. Didn't get much done on offense, and by the middle of the 2nd quarter, it was full-fledged Boo Birds, and they booed them off the field at halftime before they really got going in the 3rd quarter and came back and beat Washington. But this is all about Carson Wentz. You know, him.
And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. Jordan Howard, his first touchdown of the new season. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
On for the extra point, Jake Elliott. He's got it, and the Eagles lead it 7-zip. I'm not sure if they drew that play up to score, but it scored indeed. One play on the ground and into the end zone for 6. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. Next offensive drive coming up here for the Atlanta Falcons. They're just hoping that week 2 is better than week 1. What an awful start they got off to. 3 and out, had a punt block. Couple late plays later, Minnesota was in the end zone. Just not how they envisioned 2019 beginning.
And it continued for a long time because they didn't score until there were 9 minutes left in the game on a Calvin Ridley touchdown. So that was just difficult for them. Special teams weren't great either. Matt Bosher had a punt blocked in the first quarter. His 9th block punt since 2011. That's the most in the NFL. So they've got to shore that up. And things don't get easier. Philadelphia visits for a Sunday nighter.
Now left side on the swing pass. And Freeman lost the football. And it's picked up by the Eagles. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. Not the trend he wanted to start the season with a fumble lost in both weeks 1 and 2. Now, it's not a disaster, but certainly not what he was looking for.
Got to get that fixed because otherwise he shows up on every scouting report. I remember sitting in defensive rooms and hearing the scouting report from my coaches, and if someone had a particular problem carrying the ball and holding on to it, that was noted. Hey, make sure you get a little extra attention to him. Get after the football. He's dropped it the last couple of games.
On first down, they run with Howard. Howard has the first down and then some. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Jordan Howard with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Eagles able to push further out in front. And a pair of rushing touchdowns now for him in the first quarter.
And I'm liking what I'm seeing from his big guys up front because they're winning the leverage game. How many times we talk about low man wins, right? Move the defensive front aside, create those gaps and holes. He's found his way through them for 2 touchdowns.
And after both of those touchdowns, he went right up to that O-line and hit each of them on the helmet. He recognized
That's a smart man. You know what else he should do? If this continues, take them all to dinner.
Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Heading back onto the field, here's a look at Devontae Freeman now. He's got to clear his mind a little bit right now. 1 carry, and that carry was a lost fumble.
Clear his mind, clear his hands, and just let this one go. Sometimes it happens. You drop the ball, got a full game ahead of him, hand it to him again, see if they can start.
And it's a fumble, and it's picked up by the Eagles. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line.
Whenever I see a team turn it over on back-to-back drives, fumbles on their last 2, I know one person's blood pressure who is starting to rise, and that's the head coach.
Absolutely. And when's it going to go down? When they stop fumbling?
When they stop fumbling and after he's assessed the game film, and only if they manage to win the game.
Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Alshon Jeffrey, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Eagles able to push further out in front. Heck of a start to his season. He had 2 touchdowns in the opener last week, another one here in week 2.
Well, I don't want to call him a touchdown machine this early, but sometimes you get locked in, and you feel good about things. You get into that zone, and those touchdowns come in bunches. He may be off to that kind of a start.
It's like he was shot out of a cannon. I would imagine success this early, great momentum going forward for the rest of the year.
He keeps this up, they'll soon be chanting MVP anytime he touches the ball.
This is fielded at the goal line. And his guys are going to start their drive right at the 20-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play for a big shot downfield. You know, thinking you're going to get all these points back on one drive. You're not. And last time I looked, it's still the first half. I'm not saying you have ultimate patience here, but you also don't have to go ahead and force everything either.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. And now a throw here secured by his running back out of the backfield. And Freeman lost the football. And it's picked up by the Eagles. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
His throw caught at about the 5. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. An excellent pickup of 20 yards.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route. Drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
5-9, 5-9. 54. Let's go one more.
To throw, it's Wentz. Got a man open, it's Ertz. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Zach Ertz, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Eagles able to push further out in front. Now, first quarter, and this lead is already getting into dangerous territory. They better be careful on the other sideline.
Yeah, it feels a little bit more like a basketball game where one team is pressing and that team can't get the ball over half court. I mean, it is stealing it and scoring it, layups, the whole deal. That's what it feels like right now. They are all over them.
They had to go to the monitor, get an extra look. That's what the technology is for, and this touchdown will count. Elliott good with a PAT, and the route is on here in this first half. Well, that drive started with not a whole lot of real estate in front of them. In plus territory, excellent field position. 2 plays later, pay dirt. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And all deep in his own territory, he coughs up the football. And they're already in the red zone. The 18-yard line is where they take over.
Oftentimes when we talk about piling on in any subject, it's a negative. In this case, for this team, it's a real positive. Just scored. Now they go down, knock the ball free, get it back. They got a chance to really increase their lead and put themselves in the driver's seat.
On the other side, a little insult added to the injury. They're in a bad spot.
What? 180. 45. Rip right. Kill.
They'll run on first down. It's Howard. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. It's a really nice 15-yard pickup, and now it's 1st and goal. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
And he's in. Touchdown, Eagles. Jordan Howard doing it again with his 3rd touchdown here in the opening quarter as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. He's on pace now for 12 rushing touchdowns, and I think he's making fantasy owners smile.
I think you've got to change something on defense, don't you? I mean, we often talk about using a spy on a quarterback who has the ability to run and maneuver outside of the pocket, maybe they need to change that to spying him, because this many touchdowns this early, that is demoralizing for a defense. One guy breaking them down.
Elliott good on the extra point, and a rout is on here in this first half. They had the short field, and they made quick work of it. Just 2 plays to get into the end zone. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here.
We always hear about empty possessions, but some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, punt the ball away, get yourself set to play defense, but when you turn it over, it changes momentum, and when they take it downfield and punch it in on you, that's a bad possession all the way around.
Yeah, but you're hungry to get back out there, aren't you?
You better be, because otherwise it's going to be a long day for you.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. To throw is Ryan. That is incomplete. Trying to get that in the hands of Devontae Freeman that time. And that'll make it 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now it's Ryan. It's caught. Jones. And he'll get this one way up just shy of the 45-yard line. 23 yards, the final tally.
Gotta love the catch. I think you gotta love the gloves as well.
Yeah, these one-handed catches, that was great, and they're fun. They become a little more ho-hum right there.
Yeah, they really are, and I know that it sounds like we're taking credit away from the guys, and we don't mean that at all. They really work hard on this one-handed catch thing, but I think the gloves have to be helping in a big way.
Try to get one more in here before the quarter breaks.
53's the mark. 53, check 53.
We are in for a good one as we're through one on EA Sports. Back now in Atlanta's 2nd quarter action. The Falcons with the football as they've got it 2nd down and 11.
59, ready. Mike 25. Number 53, Mike 53. Man, I got you. Man.
On 2nd and 11 now. Ryan. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd. To throw on 3rd down. Ryan. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back. Complete. And they'll get this across the midfield stripe, but still winding up short of the 1st down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the 1st down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they've rallied and made the tackle.
The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game, but this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football, because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
Check curls, check curls, check curls.
They go with Howard to begin the drive. Howard has the 1st down and then some, as he's all the way up to the 24-yard line. That play going for 16 yards to start the drive. 1st down.
Well, that last run makes this a 100-yard night. I've loved the way he's hit the holes. He's been quick, he's been decisive, and he's been a whole lot of fun to watch.
Here we go, here we go. Hey, alert 3.
On 1st, they go right back to Howard. And some space here. And nothing but daylight ahead. Past the 20. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Jordan Howard on his way to a historic performance. 4 first-half touchdowns as his guys continue to pour it on. He's been having a great game, and that one right there, his best run so far, and it ends with 6 points.
And not only that, in his mind, what is he thinking? Can I get to 200 yards as well? Because he knows he's closing in on it. He may not know the exact number, but the best runners have a feel of what the yardage is that they're compiling, and he knows that he's getting close to that 200-yard mark now.
Elliott good with a PAT, and a route is on here in this first half. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And now let's discuss Julio Jones. They've got to be thinking, how can we get him a little bit more involved here? Second quarter, you're down, and really, he's been out of the mix.
I would agree with that, and oftentimes you hear, well, we're just taking what the defense is giving us, but sometimes that's just not good enough. Sometimes you have to take what you want, and that means getting him the football.
Yeah, so far just a single catch in this game.
Ready, go.
Now Ryan on first down. Incomplete. Well, Charles, as we peek back to week one, what would you say were the positives for some teams or individuals that you took away?
Well, it started on opening night, Green Bay, and their defense, not necessarily Aaron Rodgers and what they did going into Chicago and winning. Kansas City, they picked right up with.
Ryan hit, and he lost the football. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And it's picked up by the Eagles. And his guys are going to take over at the 1-yard line.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over, yet they are humans out there running around.
And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. A 21-yard touchdown run as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. And he just tied the NFL record on that 5th rushing touchdown. He's the 6th man ever to do that in a single game.
And, partner, did you just say that he tied an NFL record there?
Yes, sir.
I mean, we're talking 5 touchdowns on the ground against an NFL-caliber defense.
Is that good?
I'd say that's fantastic. What a game for him.
It really is something. We are watching quite the effort. Elliott good on the extra point, and the route is on here in this first half. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Matt Ryan in the foul.